So there's 5 people in the group now.
Right. I think Liffen has tried to sign in twice because she's probably having difficulty with the audio.
Okay.
So I'll give her a minute to figure it out, and I sent her a couple of chat messages to see if I could help her. And then there's one other person who's joining, and that's
Hi, Dawn.
Hi, Liffen. How are you?
Good. Sorry, it's a couple minutes late. Sorry.
That's okay. Sometimes these things are a bit challenging.
Yeah, I need to figure it out how to get in there.
Can you see the screen as well?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, while we're waiting for your contact to join us, I'll introduce you to Michael Feeney. He's the president of Near Infrared Imaging.
Hi.
Hi, Liffen. How are you?
Hi, Michael. Mike, right? Good. How are you?
Good. You have an interesting name. So, are you from the Netherlands or Scandinavia or?
Hold on, let me turn the volume down. No, I'm from China.
Oh, China. Okay.
Yeah, I'm from China.
Okay. Well, that's not a very Chinese name.
I married a German.
That explains it.
Yeah, let me check Spencer if he has some problem.
Okay, that would be great. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, Mike, I'll just tell you, Liffen and I, basically you might say, I bring together new technologies, and she brings together, and Liffen brings together investors. And
that's right.
So we are, working together, Liffen and I, to kind of bridge that piece there where I'm bringing the technologies and she's bringing the investors, and therefore we're trying to make things happen for everyone. So Liffen has like a confidentiality and an agreement that she wants you to look at after this, but I said we need to probably revise it a little bit before we pass it on to you. So we'll do that after the fact, and then you and I can talk through it and see what makes sense.
Okay. Okay. Hi, Spencer. Do you have hard time to log into the webinar?
No, I don't.
Not webinar.
Sorry?
But Dawn, did you send Spencer the link?
We did. Let me just double check.
你看一下你的 email 里头有一个那个连接，就可以参加那个 seminar 这个连接。webinar. Sorry, you saw that?
Yeah, I didn't notice.
I'm sorry. I should warn you. 你看看有没有问题进去？我们现在在那个等你。
So did he get the instructions, or do you want me to send them again?
He got it. He thought it's a Skype meeting. It was my fault. I wasn't very clear to him.
Oh, it's okay. I mean, it's new for everybody. So we're not in any rush. We'll just take a few minutes and have Spencer in.
Yeah, and while we're waiting, the Mr. Spencer Fan, and I believe he's a partner of this venture capital company that's located between China and Denmark.
So he's a partner in a venture capital firm in China.
Yes, and his company majorly interested in biotech field.
Right.
So I gave him the list of company that you forwarded me earlier. That's the one he picked out. He wants to view first.
Yeah. So, Mike, the good news is that I gave Liffen, and then she gave to Spencer a whole list of different companies. And it's just the little summaries, not the two-page things, but just little summaries at first. And then I sent on the longer summaries. And out of all of them, you were among the first 2 that Spencer has chosen to be taking a look at. So congratulations.
Well, Lithan, thank you very much.
Yes, you're welcome. It's very neat technology you have. I couldn't use it because I have a very deep vein. Every time doctor draw blood of me, they have to pinch many times. I also have a blue arm every time I give blood.
Well, we're going to change that. As a matter of fact, on the website, I'm going to add a picture of a gentleman, and his veins would be an image, and he's from China.
Oh.
So, I mean, it's typically Asians. It's not just you. Many Asians have property with needle sticks. It's just the tint of the skin or whatever it is. So, and with the population in China getting older, and with the demand in China, and with the emphasis in China now going to home health care, this is going to be a home run.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's a good stuff. Hopefully, investors agree upon the interest. So we'll see. Spencer, did you have time to log in?
One moment.
Yeah, one moment.
So, listen, have you discussed with the investor the amount of money we're looking for? Do they have any thoughts on that? Do they have any limits or guidelines to what they want to invest, minimums or maximums?
No, I think it really depends on individual technology. Some technology just requires a lot more than others. Spencer never gave me a limit, so I'm not sure. You can ask him this question. I never asked him because most of the company I'm working with are startups. They are typically ask for between $500K to $2 million, this range.
Right, and that's what we're looking for, yeah.
Hi, I'm on the webinar now. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to hang up Skype. All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Spencer, for joining us today. My name is Dawn Van Dam, and I'm really pleased to have the opportunity to work with Michael Feeney from Near Infrared Imaging to present you this information tonight. Can you see the slides okay?
Yeah, I can see the slides.
Great. So as I was saying to Michael, I mean, my role is I bring together lots of different technologies, and Lithan's role is she works with investors like yourself, and then hopefully we can make a match for both sides and make everyone, you know, have more successful healthcare and better investments in the life sciences space. So that's sort of my role and Lithan's role. And Michael is going to be doing the presentation this evening, and I would just suggest that if you have any questions at all, you just interrupt him because he's the expert and knows everything, of course. So, Lithan,
Sure.
Did you want any introductory comments at all? And Spencer, maybe it would just be a little bit helpful. Could you tell us a little bit about your organization and sort of what you're looking for? That might be helpful to Mike when he's doing his presentation.
Sure, absolutely. Nice to meet everybody here, and thanks, Lithan, for introducing us.
Sure.
We are a cross-border healthcare investment fund focusing primarily on early-stage opportunities, and we currently have 3 partners. One is based in Boston. He's a very well-known professor in MIT. His name is Robert Langer. I believe a lot of people in the drug delivery field will know him very well. We have a Danish partner who is based in Copenhagen. He is a veteran investor and entrepreneur who has founded many biotech companies out of Denmark. And I'm based in Beijing, and I'm responsible for primarily fundraising and investment execution in the Asian market. And we focus on early stage opportunities, primarily products, healthcare products, including medical devices and drugs that is close to being approved in any regulatory process or already approved in the regulatory process, and we help the company with Asian market business development. This includes getting regulatory approval as well as building manufacturing sites. And opportunistically, we also invest in the parent company to help them develop further into the next stage. So that's how we work with small companies with innovative products. Do you have any questions on how we on what product we focus on and how we invest?
So is the gentleman from MIT, could you spell his last name?
Sorry?
The gentleman from MIT in Boston, could you spell his last name?
The MIT professor?
Yeah.
So his last name is Langerer.
All right, that's just the way I wrote it. That's good.
Yeah, you can actually look at our website. It's just www.sino-danish.com.
Okay. So, Spencer, so you have one individual who's a professor who invests in Boston. You have another individual in Copenhagen who's investing in Beijing. Do you have a number of investors? Is it just yourself? Do you have other investors that you can go to? Or is this just 3 people investing, or do you have other resources you can go to?
In China, it's a huge industry, depending on what you're looking for. If you're looking for a large amount of money, and we can do a syndicate, and it won't be a problem if we are investing in a company. It's very easy for us to find co-investors if we need one. But typically, we focus on early-stage companies that doesn't require a huge amount of capital, so that has not been an issue for us.
Okay, so let's go through the slides, and as Dawn has stated, if you have any questions, just interrupt me. On the next slide where it says seeing veins better, the first bullet is vein visualization. So what the other technologies and companies do is they do vein illumination. So they illuminate the blood in the vein. That's what they see. They use lasers, they use near-infrared lasers, and they illuminate the blood in the vein. And that's good for surface veins. The problem is if you want to get a little deeper, the walls of the veins block you from seeing the blood. So the problem with our other competitors who are involved in vein illumination is that they have a depth problem. We're taking this field from vein illumination to vein visualization. The first person to invent vein illumination or vein visualization is our scientist when he was a student at the City University of New York back in 1995. And he wrote the first papers on it, and we have exclusive rights to that patent in the City University of New York, and that was the first patent involved with vein illumination and vein visualization. So the slide, let's go to slide 3. This is an actual picture of Dr. Demos, of his arm. He just took it a few nights ago and sent it to me. So you can see you have the whole image of the arm here. So at any point you can see veins move. They turn right, they turn left. They don't run in a straight line. And if you're doing an IV placement, you need just more to you need more than just sticking it and getting blood. You got to place the needle in the vein. Same thing with chemotherapy. So you need a runway, and this gives the directions of the vein. Liffen was on here before, and she was saying how difficult it is whenever she has to give blood, and they turn her arm blue with all the missed needle sticks. As you can see by this slide, that does not happen with our technology. The next slide, page 4, presents to you the proposition. So what is the value in our company? Well, just in the United States, there's 2.7 million needle sticks every day. But it's very important when the patient is obese, very young, very old, or has dark skin. And the world is getting, unfortunately, the world is getting heavier, older, and darker. Look at the populations of the world growing. The average number of attempts to insert a needle in very young children is 3. And when you miss, it causes tremendous pain to everyone, the nurse, the doctor, the child, the family. The VenaEye solves the 3 most common complaints of equipment. Number 1, they're too expensive. And they are. They're not worth the money that the people are paying for them. They only illuminate the veins that can be seen anyways, and that goes back to my very first statement. And it's funny is that the number 1 selling device worldwide out there is the AccuVein. And with the AccuVein, you only see a portion of the arm. You don't see the whole arm. If you go back here, you see the whole arm. You can't see that with the AccuVein. You may see that section with the AccuVein, a small section, or that section, or that section. And it's a red glare. It's a laser, which can be very dangerous, and nurses don't like looking at it. But when you introduce a needle into the highlighted area of the AccuVein, the needle washes out the images of the vein. So what AccuVein is trying to do, they're trying to teach nurses to stick the vein in an area that's not highlighted, that they can't see. And nurses are taught from nursing school that you stick a vein depending upon what you see and how you feel. And with the other competing devices, you can't do that. In fact, AccuVein has a very nice study. As flawed as their products are, they've done a study and they showed that patients will travel if they know that there's a vein illumination device and there's a chance that they won't have a missed needle stick. This is our VenaEye. It's LEDs. It's not lasers. It's safe. You can look at it. You can put it right in your eye, right in your face. It's LEDs. You cannot do that with the competing devices. They will put your eye out. This is the hospital cart, where it can move around from room to room. And the technology, as I indicated, was invented at the University of New York. It's meant to detect objects below the surface of any scattering medium. We're a diffuse photon technology. So this can be used for human tissue, water, smoke. This is a great patent, great technology, and it's been highlighted in over 250 research articles. So we're going to have, with funding and with profits, we're going to have a 2nd generation of products. The technology for the 2nd generation was invented about 3 years ago, and the patent was just approved a few months ago in 2013. And Near Infrared Imaging has exclusive rights to that patent. With this technology, what it does is going to go, instead of staying on top of the vein and looking at the blood and highlighting the blood, it's going to go underneath the vein. And what I refer to as a banana-like technology. So it goes underneath the vein and then exit at a different area. So it's going to have 2 detectors, one to emit the light and one to detect it at a different place. So it's actually going to be more like a camera. It's actually going to process images. It's actually going to take pictures. And we'll be able to color code veins according to depth. And that technology, again, has been approved by the United States Patent and Trademark, and we're applying for international patent protection as we speak. So,
Mike,
yes.
I'm just going to interrupt you for a second because I think there's a little bit of feedback. So if anyone hears feedback, you could just sort of mute yourself and to the right of your name, and then you can unmute yourself when you're ready to talk. So thanks.
Okay.
So when I talk, are you hearing feedback?
No, no, it's okay.
Oh, okay. So competitive advantages. We've been to the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota to Massachusetts General Hospital in Boston. Dr. Neil Madan was a neuroradiologist specialized in pediatrics. They've looked at the Accuvane, they've looked at ours, clearly a better product, clearly. And some of this I've already talked about, but there's no comparison. And I have, in the business plan, you see he wrote up a little thing, Dr. Madan, when he looked at our product next to Accuvane. This is a big factor. We're a lot less expensive. See, the competitors use projection technology. So the light goes down to the skin, and then it comes back, and they detect it, and then they project it back on the skin. We don't do that. We take the image and put it in real-time video to a monitor, and they can't do that because if they did, that they would be infringing on our technology. So they're always going to be a lot more expensive than us. So if you want to invest in NII, what else do we have going for us? Biometrics. So right now in the United States, vein illumination is a $280 million business. It's just starting, though. Most doctors and nurses don't even know it's out there. They say, well, I didn't know this was even available. This is great. So it's just emerging, and we're going to be at the forefront of that wave, and we're going to capture, more than 50% of the business. But you're still talking about a $500 million, $800 million business. Biometrics is a multi-billion-dollar business, and biometrics means that every person has a unique fingerprint. The problem is that fingerprints can be altered and changed. What biometrics does, it looks at the veins behind the fingerprint, and that's a field that's emerging with tremendous energy. Right now there's 100,000 ATMs worldwide with biometric devices on them. Japan is going big in biometrics, and we've already built a prototype. I can't tell you much about it because we haven't filed a patent yet, but we're going to have the best product out there. We've taken Fujitsu's Palm Secure, and we retrofitted it with the same technology you saw in the VeinEye, and they couldn't believe how much better their product worked. So let's go about biometrics. Yeah, so here's a good example of what I was talking about. In the same way that the fingerprints are unique, so are the veins behind the fingerprint. And the good thing about this is that you can't alter the veins behind the fingerprint unless you want to have surgery, and that would be easy to detect. So most people, when they implement biometrics, they're using a touch mechanism. So you'd walk up to an airport, to a bank, to a secure building, to an ATM, to a hospital, and you put your finger on something that would read the veins behind the fingerprint. Our uniqueness is that we're going to have a non-contact biometric device, so you don't have to touch anything. So you don't have to worry about people passing flus or viruses, or if you have any oil on your hands or something like that. It's all going to be non-contact. Biometrics is a big priority of Apple Computer. Right now, their pairing device is using biometrics. Everyone is looking at biometrics, everyone. It's a hot area, and biometrics is what we do. Looking at veins is what we do. We're the champs of that. So this is right up our alley. This is a little bit misleading, but what the point of this is that we have another technology called optical ultrasound tomography, and this is what we really started in 4.5 years ago. And it combines optical imaging with ultrasound. So it penetrates through the skull, and it can see inside the brain. It can detect bleeding real time. It can tell if it's pink blood, fresh blood, or if it's just an old bruise and there's purple clotted blood. It can tell you the presence and the area of the brain that's bleeding, and if it's growing and how it's growing. This is not a product we've developed yet. We looked for funding for this product for over 2 years, and we're never able to get it, but we're looking at tough times 2010 and 2011. But and then I realized after talking to our scientist that he had invented the vein illumination. So we built this product line, and this is the vein illumination will be a means to fund the development of optical ultrasound tomography. We've already proven the concept in the labs at Livermore. We know our concept works. And there's been a lot of papers recently written about this idea of non-contact photoacoustic imaging, saying, hey, these guys over there at Livermore, they have something. We think it works. So that's what we will be doing with the profits. So you're not just inventing in, you're not just investing in the vein eye. You're investing in a company that's going to take the majority of the profits, 80% of the profits, and put it back into research. We're not going to have crazy salaries or, crazy office space. And this is information on traumatic brain injury in the sports and the military. There's some more information. It's a major problem. The number one cause of death to infants in the neonatal intensive care unit in the United States is brain injury. It's going to be very easy for us to image the brains of infants because they already have holes in their heads, and their skin and their skulls are very thin. And with us, it's just light. It's not a CAT scan. There's no radiation. If they have an infant now and they think they're bleeding the brain, they can't give them a CAT scan. It would kill the infant. They wrap them up in clothes, what they call swaddle them. They sedate them, and they give them an MRI. That's a tough thing to go through. This is the Lawrence Livermore team. This is Dr. Stavros and Dr. Rubinchek. Dr. Rubinchek was he's originally from Russia. He was given the highest award in Russia that a physicist can get. Lawrence Livermore is considered the premier research facility in the world. They are also a division of the Department of Energy, so they're a government agency. But they have the world's largest laser there. And it's a great institution, but they're real excited about working with us. We are the very first company, private company, that Lawrence Livermore has taken a piece of. They own 3% of us. They did that in exchange for giving us a break on the cost of the exclusive rights to the patents. So they're very supportive to us. As for the rest of the team, talks about the company and the patents and who owns us. The vein eye is ready to go. It's going into Intertech next week for the final product safety and electrical safety testing. And that will be done in about 3 to 4 weeks. At that point in time, we'll get the IEC 60601 3rd edition certification, which is the most stringent testing you can get for product safety and for electrical safety. And this is going to be good and help us to get access to the European Union, the CE mark, and countries like China would want this and see this. We don't have to get the 3rd edition. We're a very simple device. We could do less. We could just get the UL certification or the ANSI certification, but we're going all the way with this because we don't want to have any objection to the product when it enters another country. This is it. And healthcare costs are rising everywhere. We're going to bring down healthcare costs dramatically. We're going to have the vein eye in a bag that a visiting nurse could carry into a home, into a nursing home, any place. So it's going to reduce all the problems you have and lawsuits and craziness from missed needle sticks. On their website, there's a man from Jamaica. He's a neighbor of mine, and we do his arm. And he talks about how his father suffered nerve damage in Jamaica from so many missed needle sticks. And it doesn't come out real good because the website is a video of a video, but his veins showed up great, and he's very, very dark. I mean, he's jet black dark, and this is going to reduce a lot of costs you have with numerous needle sticks. And I think that's it. So I'm open for questions.
Thank you, Mike. I have a question about the V9. Is it FDA registered?
Yes.
Is that means you got 510K?
No, we're 510K exempt.
Oh, okay. I'm also wondering, are you looking for fund for the distribution ship for V9 or for funding for your next generation OUT?
We're looking for funding to launch the sales of the VANI. So this has been 4.5 years to get this point. We're ready to launch it to the world. But for example, when you go into Germany, when you go into the Netherlands, you go into South Korea, wherever, they all have their own FDA type of service or bureau. In China, it's for Class 1 in China, it's on a provincial level. So it's like $3,000 to $4,000 or $5,000 per country. Well, if you talk about 50 countries, that's $250,000 right there. And then we have to buy the inventory of 500 units. I have all this itemized exactly what it costs, but the money we are going to be used would not be used to pay debt. It will be strictly used to launch the sales of the VANI. All the other things we're going to do, we would do with profits from the VANI. The money we're looking for is just to launch the sales. We've made it here, and we're just looking for money to get out there.
Okay, good.
Sure, thank you. Very, very interesting business. How much debt do you have currently?
Debt, we have about $70,000.
Oh, $7,000. Okay, that's not a lot. Okay.
No, when the CEO of AccuVein visited our scientists last year, he said it took him $10 million just to get the first product, even before it was FDA approved. We did that with $500,000. So for every $1 he spent, we spent a nickel. We've done well.
Right. In terms of the manufacturing cost, if you just do a rough estimate now, how much lower is yours than AccuVein?
Well, our manufacturer actually is in China, and the company here in the United States is called Sparktron, SPARQTRON, and they manufacture here, and they also have manufacturing facilities in China. So starting out, the small inventory will be made here, but as we keep going, it'll be made in China. The cost for us to make it is significantly less because we don't use projection technology. We just use LEDs. If you recall, I said how AccuVein and Christie Medical, they have to flash the laser light on the skin. It reflects back. They have to accumulate it and process it, and then actually put the image back on the skin for the nurse to see. We don't do that. We just take the image and put it into a monitor and do real-time video. We can do that, and they can't do it because that's what our patent allows for. That's what.
So the AccuVein and the other competitor technology, they project back the image onto the skin of the patient.
You get it. It's like the old. Remember back in the '80s, those projection TVs, rear projection TVs. Very similar. Same theory. Same science.
Okay. And theoretically, can you do the same if you want to?
I didn't hear that last. What did you say?
Sorry. Theoretically, if you want to project your image back to the skin, can you do that?
Yeah, we could, but we would never want to do that. That would increase the cost, and it wouldn't give us the whole vein arm. It would just give us a portion of the arm. We would never do that.
Okay. What's the how did the AccuVein detect the vein? What's their methodology?
So, is the question how deep does their technology go? Is that the question?
No. How do they? What's the fundamental principle?
So just maybe compare and contrast the fundamental principles behind yours and the competitors, Mike.
So we have a technology called polarization. It's like your sunglasses. It allows sunlight in and doesn't allow sunlight, all of it in. It polarizes the light. That's what our technology does. They don't do that. They don't polarize. They strictly take an image and project it back. That's the difference.
So you're able to see veins that are deeper and see a more robust image of the vein? Is that
sure? If you go on AccuVein's website, it's the best commercial for us because you'll see a small section of the arm which is highlighted, and it's from a red glare from a laser. At the end of the video, you'll see they bring a needle over. It looks like the needle's going to hit the vein, but you'll never see the needle and the highlighted area together, because the minute they put that needle close to the vein to puncture it, there's no image of the vein. The needle washes out the image of the vein. So they have to actually puncture the vein in the dark. They have to puncture the vein before it's in the highlighted area. So
Mike, could you put up the picture of the arm again?
Sure. I could actually, if you can, okay, so with AccuVein, if you can see my cursor, they do that much. There you go. But you cannot bring the needle in there when you want to puncture because it all gets washed out. So they teach the nurses, well, puncture the vein here, but that's not highlighted. This is highlighted. Can you see my cursor?
No, go back up. Go to the blue arrow up at the left, the one that, click on the blue arrow. It's a thicker one to the left of the T. If you click on that, then you'll have a little arrow that we can see.
Yeah. Can you see it now?
Are you seeing it? Try it again. Click on it again.
No. So anyways, if I went to AccuVein's website right now, you couldn't see it, huh? If I hit Explore, I mean, can you see my screen?
What you could do is go up to the very top where it says File, Edit, Share.
Yeah.
And if you click on Share, it'll say my desktop, and then it will switch us to your desktop, and then you can go wherever you want.
Okay.
Yep.
Here's AccuVein right here. Can you see my desktop?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So let's watch the video now, and you'll see what I mean. Woman walks in. She has the needle. See, there's a section of the arm they show. Okay? They don't show the whole arm at one time. All right? So they feel for the area. All right? Okay, that's where we want to stick it. Now, you don't see the needle in that image, do you? You didn't see the needle in the image, because if they put the needle in the image and the red area is highlighted, you wouldn't be able to see the veins. It washes it out. It's very deceiving. And look, that's the thing they have on the bed right here. And that's, I don't know. There's so many things around a hospital bed. You cannot have that there 24/7, just an occasional needle stick. There's no way.
What is the price of their product?
That's $5,400. Oh, did I lose you? I'm sorry. So are you gone forever now?
I'm here.
Oh no, I mean, because I try to go back to the.
Sorry, yeah, we can see you, but the question is on the so your technology you mentioned is polarization of what kind of light?
Near infrared wavelengths.
near-infrared wavelength, and that's how you detect it. And you said the technology is also called diffused photon technology?
Well, yeah. Okay, so you have a remote control of your TV, right?
Yeah,
right?
That's right.
Okay. So you can't see that light that comes out of there, can you?
No, you can't. That's right.
Okay. So we're in the 850 nanometer range, which is invisible. Now, some people can see 700 nanometers. Some people can even see light in the 750 nanometers. Our doctor says he can see the 800 nanometers, very, very rare. So it's invisible. So what happens is when the light hits the tissue, we use diffuse photons. So the photons scatter. Whereas with the eye, with ophthalmology, they use coherent photons. So you're going to see, a lot of things about near-infrared wavelengths and the eye, but that's a different technology. It's coherent photons. You can't use it for our technology, and I don't want to go into a big explanation why. So we use diffuse photons. So there you go. Thank you very much. I don't know who did that, but thanks. And it's in the 850 nanometer range. Now we're going to eventually, when we start making profit from this, we're going to have two options on our camera. We're going to have 850 nanometers and 800, because the 800 nanometer range is actually slightly better for obese patients, because fat has a different density, different properties to it. But AccuVein, Christian Medical, are all in that 850 nanometer range, all of us. All of us. The reason you can see AccuVein is because they use lasers. We don't. We use LEDs.
Okay. So, and what about AccuVein's technology? What do they use to detect the vein?
As I just explained to you, they use lasers. They use near-infrared wavelength, but they put it in the form of a laser.
Oh, okay.
Laser you can see. They can put your eye out.
You actually see a beam of light going towards your arm? Is that what you do?
Oh, absolutely. If you look at
for
it.
them, but for you, there's no, you don't see anything.
Do you ever see? Do you ever see when people do presentations? They have that red pointer, that red pointer.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, there's a problem in airports where people will flash those red pointers at airplanes when they're landing, and it blinds the pilots for a second.
Hmm.
You can buy them in stores. I mean, they're lasers. You can do little laser shows. Kids play with them. You can't look at them. Put your eye out.
So that's what the competition uses, which
yes.
isn't as accurate as what your technology is. Your technology is more accurate and allows you to see both the needle and the vein at the same time, right?
Very good. You get it. I should hire you.
Sure. So the wavelength is similar, just that they use a laser, but you use a diffuse photon technology. That's the difference.
Yeah, all of us are using diffuse photons. All of us. We're all using diffuse photons.
Okay.
We use LEDs. They use lasers. They're not as sophisticated as us. I mentioned diffuse photons only because you could possibly see. Oh, look, there's this near-infrared optical imaging technology, great for the eyes. In ophthalmology, it's different. It's a coherent photon. It's different. It's like, it's a different technology. I just mentioned it, but it's important not to get hung up on that. All of us in this vein illumination business use diffuse photons. We all use near-infrared wavelengths, right about the same range. They use lasers, which give you red glare. It can be dangerous for the eye. We don't. They use projection technology. We don't.
And Mike, I think you had in one of your slides a competitive comparison. Do you remember the slide number? Was that in there somewhere? I can go to it because I have the ball right now.
Okay, it's in slide number 9.
So who were you comparing yourself to in this example?
To the two other big competitors, Accuvane and Christie Medical. So Accuvane
Sure.
is by far the biggest player. I mean, there's no one even close to them. They have a
Yeah.
tough time with hair. They cannot see through hair. We can.
Question on the so in your detection technology system, when I have a needle, do I see the needle on my screen?
On the monitor, sure.
So I'll be able to see my needle. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you go to that website, the very home page, click on it.
Your website.
Yeah.
Okay. So
The whole video is done with the needle, just to emphasize how different we are than Accuvane.
Okay. Here for image.
Yeah, you mentioned a brain injury. I just wonder how deep you can see the vein. How deep in the brain you can see the vein, or just under the skin surface you can go see that.
No, it's two different technologies. It was a little confusing. So the brain injury is a technology that's not here yet. It's not developed yet.
Oh, that one can see deeper.
That technology doesn't just see surface. It goes into the tissue. It goes through the skull. That's a totally different product.
Then I only see under the skin.
You get it.
Yeah.
But everything you're presenting kind of builds on your base technology or builds on the patents that you have in place. So it's a continuity. You know, basically, I think your presentation talks about almost every 2 years you're thinking of bringing something new to the market.
Yeah. So Spencer, if we were to get funded in May, we would be selling product in June. We have a lot of resellers signed up. We have over 100 resellers that we've contacted or who've contacted us. Over 50 of them have signed non-disclosure agreements. Over 25 of them have seen the prototype in action. It's very impressed. We're working with some pretty big companies. A company called Thermo Fisher just found out about us, and they contacted us. A company called Immucor. I mean, there's a lot of big companies that are looking at us. Philips Healthcare is looking at us. But they want to see us make it first. They want to see us good. They want to see us out there, and then they're going to try to buy us out, but we're not going to sell. I mean, we would sell the vein business. We just wouldn't sell the company.
How much is Sparktron charges for the first 500 units?
Sparktron, well, before I get into their pricing and all that, which I'd love to talk to you about, I'd like to sign an NDA.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. We can go into that. Yeah.
Roughly, what we're looking at is, let's say we have the accessories. We have AC adapters. Eventually, we're going to have a rechargeable battery. We're going to have a metal box on the stand, so all the wires will be in that metal box. You won't see anything. With rechargeable battery, it will last for 8 hours, so the nurse can wheel it around the hospital without plugging it in. So we get all that kind of stuff. So on average, if you add up all the accessories, the average price will be like $1,600. And Sparktron, on average, will be charging us about, let's say, $550. So that leaves $500 for us and $550 for the reseller.
Sure. And this is based on low volume assumptions, the supply price?
I didn't get that whole question. So
this 550 supply price is based on a low volume assumption?
Yes. Yeah. Once we start doing thousands and 2,000 and 3,000 a month, that price will go down dramatically. So in the past month alone, when we went to put the first order in for 250 units, we contacted the maker of the polarizer, and they were charging us $90. we put the order in, and we had a conference call. We told them what we're doing. We showed them what we're doing. They reduced that cost down to 45, and they said once they get to quantity 500, they reduce it down to 30. The filter on the camera, we were paying $30 for. Sparktron found a supplier in Japan also, both these companies in Japan, the Polaroid and the filter supplier, that we can get it down to $3 with quantity.
Sure. So did Sparktron help with any design of the product?
Did Sparktron help me with the buying the pieces for the product?
No. Did Sparktron help you with the design of the product, instrumentation?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we showed them the prototype. We showed them what we wanted. Now, they are not a design and engineering company. They're only a contract manufacturer. So you give them something, they copy it, and they make it high quality, less expensively. But they really liked our vision. They really liked all the products. So they went out and they designed this product for us. Okay. So they put, and we kind of knew what we wanted. We had the camera and the monitor picked out, but they came up with the gooseneck. They came up with the stand. They came up with the baskets, and we're improving it all the time. The gooseneck is a home run because it's sturdy. I mean, you really have to, it's not going to move. When you put it in position, it can stay there 16 hours a day, for 10 years. It just won't move. It's great. I've never seen a gooseneck like that. That was a huge thing for them to get and for them to do. The camera's not heavy. The camera's not heavy, but it's not real light either. So they did a phenomenal job with the gooseneck. Right there, yeah. The wheels. Sure. The wheels have locks on them. So the minute you bring in the lock and put it next to the bed, you just with your foot you lock it. You don't have to bend down.
Sure. So if they help with the design, your contract or your relation, sort of your agreement with them is that they will be the default, or they will be the contract manufacturer for up to how many years, or up to at least certain volume? Is there a guaranteed minimum that you have to promise?
Nope.
Oh, okay. So which means did you pay for their work, other than manufacturing?
No.
So they did that for free, the design work?
They believed in us.
Okay. Sure. Interesting. Okay.
They're only a few miles. They're only a few miles away from Livermore Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory, and they met our scientists, and they just believed in us, and they took a chance.
Oh, they're very close to Livermore. Okay.
15 minutes away.
Okay.
They met with me, met the scientists, and they first said, we don't do design and engineering. So I was looking around for design firms. And then 3 months later, I was still looking around for design firms, looking for funding, and they came back and said, guess what we got? Now, we've since improved it a lot. Their original version wasn't quite this good. We had, the noise and flickering and stuff like that. But, for the past 6 months, we've done nothing but fine-tune it. And this thing is bulletproof now. This thing is almost indestructible.
Okay.
I would have had to pay.
Interesting.
I would have had to pay $200,000 to have a company here in the United States design this for us, and then I would have had to pay $150,000 just to get the first, 50 units, and I wouldn't have got and I wouldn't have got these price points.
Right. Okay.
They're our partner. Can I go away from them? Yeah, but I'm not going to. I would never do that.
Right. That's right.
Okay. I may have to excuse myself, and I'll let you guys continue chat or follow up with you. 9 o'clock, I have another meeting to go. I'm sorry.
That's
Thanks very much, Leslie.
Talk to you next time. Yeah.
Sure. I'll
follow up with you tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Thank you for the presentation. Have a good chat. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Hi.
So, Michael, how many rounds of funding have you raised, and what's sort of the intended, what's the sort of likely estimated valuation right now, and how much are you looking for?
So there've been no rounds. I've bootstrapped it. Friends, family,
Right.
investors. I mean, I've never gone to any VC or angel and they said, okay, we're going to give you X amount of money. It's come in 5,000, 10,000, like that. So we have 2 million shares authorized. Of those, we have 1 million shares outstanding, and that includes 400,000 shares for myself. The rest of the 600,000 shares have gone to investors, and people have done a lot of work, but I couldn't pay them with money, so I paid them with shares. You know.
Right.
So we have another 1 million shares left out. The last 3 people to invest paid $2.50 a share. So that put the valuation, pre-money valuation, of $5 million. What we're looking with the business plan, what I was hoping to do was to raise $250,000, issuing 100,000 shares, or to raise $500,000, issuing 200,000 shares, or to raise $1 million, issuing 400,000 shares. So those are my thoughts, and those are my plans.
Okay. So you currently have, I would say, 20% of the shares.
I have
400,000 out of 2 million.
Yeah, I have 39% of the outstanding shares, and 20% of the authorized shares. But I have the voting rights for all the other shares.
Okay. So what about who else has what are the other major shareholders?
Okay, so Lawrence Livermore has 30,000 shares. City University of New York has 30,000 shares, and the University of California has 30,000 shares. Now, they always have 3% each, and that 3% cannot be diluted. So if we go to 2 million, then they're going to have 60,000 shares each. And then we have, after me, then we have investors. The largest investor after me is a gentleman by the name of Ryan Oster, O-S-T-E-R, and he has 200,000 shares. Then we have Charles Newcomb. We have George and Ann, Ralph and Ann George, who have 125,000 shares. I have a list of all the investors.
What about the scientist that invented it? How much share does he own?
None.
Oh, so he doesn't own any shares?
No, he can't.
So how
he can't. He works for government. The minute he has ownership in the company, he can't work in the project anymore.
Oh, okay. So when you say you are developing a second generation product, who is working on it?
He is. They are. The scientists.
They are, but they work for free, or how are they incentivized?
No, it costs me $3,000 a day per scientist for them to work on us.
Oh, so you pay them for them to work on it. So it's like
yeah, and you know the American government is kind of broke, so and they're a Department of Energy, so $3,000 per day. They charge me per scientist to work on any project per day.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay.
Now the scientist,
so how many?
The scientist has family in Greece, which are wealthy, and they want to invest. They'd invest $1 million tomorrow. All day long. They can't. The minute they invest, he can no longer work on the projects with us. And we haven't filed the biometrics patent yet, the other patents, so we got to be careful. Once we are profitable, then he will come over to the company.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay.
He can't wait. He can't wait to make the move.
Right, exactly. Okay,
so
makes sense.
When he comes over, I'm going to give him an amount of shares equal to what I own. That's been the deal from the beginning. Him and I will be equal.
Right. Yeah, that's fair.
I'm always going to have at least 51% of the voting rights. I'm never going to let anyone come in and take it away from me.
Right. So when you own 39% and you control the other voting rights, how do you do that?
anything. You just have control. They sign it over to you.
Oh, okay. So when they purchase the shares, at the same time, you ask them to sign this the voting rights over to you. So that this is like a concurrent back-to-back agreement.
It's a voluntary decision by them.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know, I took the money in first. We used to be an LLC, and then we converted to an INC.
Mm-hmm.
When I converted to an INC last year, I gave them all the option to keep the voting rights or to assign them to me. And almost everyone assigned them to me. All the universities assigned them to me. A few small investors didn't. I don't know why. They didn't. But almost everyone else did.
Okay.
And these are people that know me and trust me and or have come to learn about me and we've had a relationship with. So it's not like it's they're at a distance. They've looked at the product, they've talked to me, they've talked to our scientists, I met with them before they invested. They've seen the prototype, they've seen what we're doing, so they believe in it,
Okay.
As far as how your money is going to be used, I have that down to the penny. I mean, for example, when Dr. Demos and Rubinchek and Raj and other people leave Livermore, we've already picked out an incubator in Livermore, California, that will be our office space. The average per square foot for office space in that area is like $3 a square foot. We're getting it for $1.91, and that includes utilities. Everything we're doing, we set up partnerships, and we're very frugal and we're very thorough. We don't make any rash decisions. Even with Intertech, their original charge is like $40,000 to the electrical and safety testing. But when we convince them of the simplicity of our product, that price is now down to $26,000.
Right. How big is Sparktron?
Sparktron's a good-sized company. You can Google it. It's www.sparktron.com. They're owned by a larger company. They're like 60% owned by a larger company who also has ownership in another company. So there's 3 companies involved. There's a larger company, there's Sparktron, and there's a sister company. Together, I would say, I don't know, $200, $300 million, $500 million, all 3 of them.
Oh, okay. So this is and they have manufacturing sites in China. Which part of China?
Yeah, they have manufacturing facilities in China. I don't know what part of China. I think for some reason I want to say it was in Taiwan, one facility, and they had another facility. I don't know where it is.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. I think that's a good amount of information we've got today. Let's sign an NDA, and we'll be happy to look at more carefully the cost breakdown of this product. And because I think the way you could gain advantage is lower cost than the existing competitors. Do you know how many? I was looking at Actwave website. How many units have they sold in the U.S.?
I have that information. I'll send it to Dawn, and she can pass it along to you. The information I have on them only goes up to like 2011.
That's fine.
But they've been doubling every year. When they first started out, like 9, 10, 11, every year they doubled. I haven't seen any more information about them.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm happy to look at more information, and would like to actually take a closer look at a product and the way you sort of have broken down the cost, and I think that's going to be a key part of our analysis.
What is what's the timeline? I mean, how much time are you going to need before you make a decision?
Well, it really depends. Depends on the way we see the product. And for example, some of the ways some of the companies we work with, they probably don't have a manufacturing partner yet, and we typically would want to be the manufacturing partner. That's why I'm asking about your relationship with Sparktron and how powerful, like how big are they as a company, and your current arrangement with them. So in the case that if depending on how you sort of your current agreement with them, if we can be the as an investor, if we can also be a manufacturing partner in China, then we could probably move faster, because that'll become a more preferred arrangement between us and our investee company. And if we cannot do that because of for example, if Sparktron helps with your design, and it's kind of a preferred arrangement between near-infrared and imaging and them, and Sparktron, then it's hard for us to come in at the start. Then we have to sort of take a second look and decide, what's the best way to come in. So the timeline, really, there's no fixed timeline. We have no pressure to move forward with any investment opportunity we believe is not the best arrangement, because it's not really depends on how good the company is. It also depends on what kind of deals we're getting. So these are both are important considerations. So I wouldn't give ourselves a very defined time frame to make a decision. Really, it comes down to negotiations and the likely arrangement.
So we're looking for money in the next 30 days. We don't have months to wait, and we're not looking for another manufacturer. That's not an option. Now, there are other products we're going to have, and maybe down the road, a year or two from now, we would consider you. So if you don't think you can move in 30 days because the manufacturing is not an option, let me know. We're going to submit it for testing next week, and the minute that's released, we're going to have a press release by the City University of New York. We have orders. We have resellers waiting to sign. I have not signed a distribution agreement yet with any reseller, because there are some big players that may want to come in, but we can't wait 90 days for money.
Right. What about the distributor agreement in the Chinese market? How many options do you have currently?
We have a lot of people interested. We've signed nothing.
Right. Like what kind of, because China is a big market, and I'm sure you have looked at a few options of distribution. What are the major sort of? Sorry.
Yeah, we stayed away from China.
Oh, okay. So this is kind of a strategy for IP protection and for.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So China is the biggest market. It's also the biggest problem.
Right. That's right.
We have a company that we're talking to that has told us they could get us, the approval in all the provinces, and that they have government employees working for them. They're a nationwide distribution company in China, and they said they could do a real good job of protecting us. But once we I have companies. I have Goldman Sachs in China that asked me to send a prototype over there, and I won't do it. They want to do investment. I know. You know what I mean? So So China's not a high priority, but it is a high priority. There's a Greek word for it. It's called dilemma. No matter which way you turn, it's bad. I mean, if I ignore China, then that's bad. I lose a lot of sales. If I start shipping into China, that's bad. There's a company in Taiwan. It's a pretty big company too. I forget the name of them. anyways, but they're a pretty big company in Taiwan, and they knew of Sparktron's plant in Taiwan and stuff like that, and they've been begging me. They've been begging me to send a demo unit, a prototype, and I won't send it. I won't send it.
Yeah, that's right. That's very smart. Yeah, intellectual property is a big issue in China. So I would say you would agree, right? And so the U.S. and Europe are probably the priority market to get into at the start, and probably countries like China at a much later stage for you to consider.
52% of all medical equipment purchased in the world is purchased in the USA.
Right. That's
so
exactly right.
That's the first market. But, if you look, I have a hospital in Argentina yesterday. I don't know how they heard this. They said, we'll send you a check. We want to buy one. I can't sell it yet. I'm not approved yet in Argentina.
Right.
When the disaster happened in the Philippines, we sent it down to a poor hospital in the Philippines that couldn't afford to buy it, and they love it. They love it, and they use it on the very sickest patients, the very, very young, the very newborns, patients that were so dehydrated, the veins had collapsed, and they love it. And this is a prototype they have. They don't have the full. It's not hands-free, and they love it. So we have a lot of demand for it, and I just ran out of money. Not so much ran out of money, but it just takes it takes a lot of money. Not a lot of money. It takes money to get things done. We're ready to launch. I have a beautiful product, and I'm looking for the right investor. And you seem more interested in the manufacturing than you do in investing. Right,
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we'd like to learn more about the product, about your financing need in the next 30 days. How much are you looking for in the next 30 days?
Well, we have 3 plans. We have $200,000, $500,000, and $1 million. The more money we get, the bigger piece of the company we're going to give up. And I'm willing to work with an investor to make sure that their percentage does not ever get diluted.
Yeah. So if let's say for the lowest amount, for 200,000 investment, what can you do with it? What can you achieve with it?
Okay. So that would buy all the initial inventory. That would pay for all the Intertech testing. That would pay for FDA type approval in about 10 countries. And that would give me money to bring on I have salespeople who are working for shares, but I could start allowing them to travel and to do things and to really branch out.
Okay. So some initial cost to cover. Okay.
After $200,000, we're making a profit. Every time a camera sells, the reseller makes $550, we make $500. So after I go through the first 200 units, now I have $100,000 in profit, and that's going to happen in 30 days. I mean, I get resellers and orders. Resellers are going to have stocking inventory, so that'll go through in 30 days. Once I go through 5,000 units, it's you know what I'm saying, and then I'll go through 5,000 units in the second half of 2014 easily. That's $2.5 million. That's 2.5. Then I don't need anyone. Then I can have Dr. Demos come over to the company, Lee Livermore, his family wants to invest. At that time, I can go to a bank. Spencer, I don't have to dilute. I can go to, so I don't have to dilute. So I mean, you know this better than I do.
Yep. Okay. Sure.
We're very honorable people. We're very ethical.
Yep.
We want to make products that help humanity. The price that the competitors charge for their garbage technology is sinful. What we're going to do with biometrics is a $1 billion industry, and we're going to have the best product out there. The ALP product is going to save a lot of lives, and there's a lot more.
Yeah.
The ALP product will be able to see if you have a blockage in your artery. So if you have a real bad pain before you're going to get a stroke, or just go for your annual physical exam. There's so much we want to do, and we're right here. We're at the point, and there's nothing hidden. You can see everything about us. We'll disclose everything. You can talk to all the other investors, our scientists. You can see all the documentation. There's no skeletons in our closet.
Sure. I've seen some similar technologies on the vein illumination part for a different application, not for what you just told me. Happy to learn more about the biometrics and the optical ultrasound part, although they are quite preliminary. The product's not there yet, but happy to see, when you say level 1 evidence, what exactly is level 1 evidence. So that will determine the long-term potential of this company.
Okay.
So that's also another important consideration for us, apart from this vein illumination product, which is almost ready. So I think those are the areas of interest to us. And if you need, we can, once we see take a look at the information, we'll sort of do some our homework on the market, and we can try to give you a decision quickly about whether we want to move forward with this in the next 30 days.
Beautiful. Great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Let's execute an NDA, and happy to see if for the optical ultrasound tomography technology, you can just send me a paper, and whatever that is published, in the journal. I'm happy to look at that. And for the biometrics, whatever you have, I don't know what stage are you currently, so
I
can't really comment.
I don't have anything on that because we haven't.
Okay.
Now.
Okay, but there must be some other people doing similar research, right? Some other academic particles.
Samsung, Apple, Fujitsu, NEC, everyone.
Yeah. So if you can send me some papers on what other people have done, I'm probably different from what you're doing. Just some background study on the potential and the market and things like that. So I need some starting point for that. Yeah.
You got it.
Okay. Sure. Thank you so much, Mike. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Spencer, for your time. We'll follow up.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Take care.
Bye. 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 30 days.